Hi, I'm Joe Finsternis, and tonight I'm going to be talking to you about a movie called Teeth. So, this movie follows a high school girl named Dawn who is avidly against sex before marriage, which isn't a terrible thing. I kind of disagree about marriage, but to the kids out there watching this, you should definitely save yourself for the right person. But she goes to some extremes to keep herself from temptation, like she refuses to see a PG-13 movie just because it might have some heavy making out in it. I was like, really? Um, anyway, she ends up breaking up with her boyfriend for what I personally think is kind of a stupid reason, but then she gets back together with him, and it turns out that splitting up may not have been such a bad idea because he ends up forcing himself onto her. But it turns out that Dawn has a little secret. And, the package for this movie doesn't give away anything about said secret. And honestly, with the reputation that this film has gained over the years, if you don't know what that is by now, that's kind of sad. But if you don't know anything about the movie, I'm not going to spoil it for you. If it ends up sounding like something that you would like, then you can go into it blind and find out for yourself. Regarding said secret, though, it reminded me of Blood Glacier a little bit. I'm stuttering. It reminded me of Blood Glacier just a little bit in the fact that it has this premise that I did not buy for a second, but they still try explaining it in a sort of scientific way. They talk about evolution and adapting to survive, and it's another case where they try to lend credibility to some ancient mythology, which I didn't even know existed before I saw this movie. But unlike Blood Glacier, which was supposed to be a more serious horror film, this one is supposed to be more of a satire. Although, most of the time it just comes off as more of a cheesy B-movie than a self-aware comedy. Like, there's a lot of overacting and some overly dramatic music, which is amusing in parts, but honestly, I know I have a sick sense of humor, but the funniest moments to me were the scenes where it got bloody. And once again, I don't want to give anything away about this film for those of you who don't know much about it, but it was during some of the scenes of graphic violence that I laughed hardest during the movie. And this film does share a little bit in common with the Stepford Wives as well, in that it pokes fun at the male-dominated society. Only, whereas the Stepford Wives was more about women being oppressed, this one is more about female empowerment. And it mostly just pokes fun at the fact that the female body has become, well, it hasn't really become this, it's been like this for ages, but it just pokes fun at the fact that it's such a weirdly taboo subject. In fact, I have a question regarding one of the scenes in this film. There's a bit where Dawn is in class and one of her teachers is talking about sex education. All of the students are looking at the page of their textbooks which shows the anatomy of the male penis, and it shows everything on that page, but once they turn it and they get to the anatomy of the vagina, that page is covered with a big golden sticker. And I was just kind of wondering, are there any schools that have actually done that shit? I'm genuinely curious. Let me know in the comments. Educate me. But, yeah, in the end, I would not say that this is really a great film, but it is very entertaining, nevertheless. And I compared it to The Stepford Wives. Unlike that movie, this one does have some pretty good bloodshed. There's not really a whole lot of it, but it does get pretty graphic in the moments that does show blood. And it does feature some nudity, although most of that consists of penises being in places that they shouldn't be. Anyway, if it sounds like your kind of movie, then by all means I would recommend it. So that's all I've got to say about teeth. I hope y'all have a good one.